Stαϊκούra. Welcome, Minister, and over to you.
Thanks a lot. It's a great pleasure for me to be here with such a distinguished panel in one more high-level Economist conference, a conference that takes place in a period of high uncertainty due mainly to the COVID-19 outbreak, an exogenous shock leading in the shrinking of European economies at unprecedented rhythm. Unavoidable, the same happens for the Greek economy. Nevertheless, it has depicted remarkable resilience. More specifically, according to the provisional available data coming up from the first semester of 2020, I have a slide here, I can share it with you. In the first semester of the year, I will leave it here. In the first semester of the year, unfortunately, the Greek economy shrank by 7.9%. However, the European average was minus 9%. The Portuguese economy shrank by 9.3%, the Italian by 11.7%, the French by 12.3%, and the Spanish by 13.1%. This is the result of the timely taken, cohesive, well-targeted measures of the government, which took advantage of the existing fiscal and monetary flexibility. This was recognized in June in the statement of the Eurogroup, which, on quotes, commended the Greek authorities for the quick and decisive policy response, both in containing the outbreak of the virus and in taking the necessary measures, economic and fiscal support measures. Indeed, we implement fiscal and non-fiscal expansionary measures of a total value of around 24 billion euros in order to protect human life and public health and to support households and enterprises. These measures include the ones announced by the Prime Minister 3 days ago to protect employment, to enforce the productive activity, and to support the income of the most vulnerable, while always holding reserves for the future, for a future which remains uncertain. All these are financed by the prudent and neat management of the country's cash reserves. Cash reserves which have been significantly strengthened during the last year through 6 successful debt issuances of a total amount of 14 billion euros. The highlight was the most recent 10-year GGB issuance at the lowest borrowing cost ever for the country. At the moment, cash reserves stand at 38.7 billion euros, a bit higher compared with the beginning of the crisis. And they are expected to be further augmented by the use of the existing European financial instruments. At the same time, amid the crisis, as Minister of Finance, we proceed with the implementation of significant structural reforms. Indicatively, during the last 6 months over the crisis, a new program to support borrowers affected by the coronavirus crisis has been launched and is being successfully running. Public consultancy on a holistic, socially sensible, and nationally growth productive framework to tackle the high level of private debt has been completed. The institutional framework for corporate governance and the capital market has been upgraded and modernized. The framework for microfinance has been enacted. The asset development plan has been boosted in cases where it was possible, as, for example, the Hellenikon project and the sale, the privatization of 3 regional peripheral ports. Plans to enhance the sustainability of companies such as Elvo, Skaramaga Shipyard, EAV, and Larco have been put into action. Consequently, we have made good use of time in order to speed up reforms, aiming at enhancing economic effectiveness and social justice. Nevertheless, we do not turn a blind eye, nor are we celebrating. We are aware, as I shared yesterday with Klaus, of the national, social, and economic challenges ahead of us. We are in a geopolitically sensitive and interesting area of the planet. We are working prudently and methodically to overcome difficulties, to share the country's defense, to successfully tackle the health crisis, population movement, geopolitical turbulences, the return of our economies to the pre-crisis level the soonest possible, to take advantage of the fiscal flexibility with prudence which will continue to exist in 2021, and of course, to make the best use of the available European funds through the implementation of our own national growth strategy. A strategy which will be the springboard to reorient the Greek economy to a new production model and thus to achieve high, sustainable, clever, and socially fair growth. This growth can be achieved based on the important firepower that we have secured, approximately 72 billion euros from Next Generation EU and the European Union's multi-annual fiscal framework, the MFF. More specifically, Greece is expected to receive, through the Recovery and Resilience Facility, about 19 billion euros in grants, while it can receive an additional 12.7 billion euros in loans. In addition, it will raise 40 billion euros from the multi-annual financial framework for the period 2021-2027. This poses a unique opportunity for Greece to boost economic activity over the period through investments, but also reforms that will have a prolonged and sustainable impact on the country's long-term economic outlook. We plan to make the best use of these funds in order to implement policies based on the objectives set by the National Recovery Plan, which include, among others, the implementation of a prudent fiscal policy with a gradual reduction of tax rates and social security contributions, the continuation of the privatization program, as well as the exploitation of public property, the digital transformation of the public sector, the simplification of the license procedures and the reduction of the bureaucratic burden, the implementation of structural reforms concerning the regulatory framework for businesses, the faster delivery of justice, the promotion of public investment, and the support of private investment initiatives of high added value, emphasizing on the development of infrastructure, on digital technologies, on the industry stimulation, on the stimulation of endogenous sources of growth, like education, research and development, on the Greek economy, on the green economy. Among other cases and areas, Greece plans major investment in areas including efficient use of energy, networks upgrading, renewables, recycling, waste management, protection, and enhancement of natural environment and biodiversity. Such investment will underpin sustainable growth and job creation in ways that protect environment and social cohesion. Taking advantage of all the above, we will have the opportunity not only to recover, but to enter a strong and sustainable upward trajectory. An opportunity that we are deciding to seize in order to restructure the economy, to enhance its productivity, and to improve its competitiveness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister, for setting out the government's view in such detail. So